Did I really need to say more than that? I mean, just yeah. Anyway, this is the Animation Fanatic. I just finished the season finale of The Legend of Korra, and wow, just wow. This will be a review of episodes 13 through 14. Together, I will give a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review. I'll do plot recap, and I'll talk about my feelings on this episode, my feelings on possible consequences in the future, my confusions, if you can answer them, please do, and also I'll talk about the season as a whole. I'll sum it up and just say what what I thought of this season, what the conclusion is on this whole thing. So here's non-spoilers for everyone. First I want to say, and this isn't really a spoiler, but the music in this, I've said this before, but I always forget it. The music in Avatar is just very top-notch. It's just so epic and just adds just so much to the scene, to the emotion, to everything going on in any scene. And it just helps so much, and you sometimes forget about it, unfortunately, but it just adds so much, from the fight scenes, to the sad scenes, to the joyous scenes, to the end credits. The end credit music was great. I mean, how many shows do you get that the end credit music was great? I mean, you actually want to stick around for the end credits just to hear the music. That's what I did, just to hear the music. But anyway, so non-spoiler, these were just great episodes. This was a great end to this season, and a great conclusion to the things that have been happening. Loose ends do get tied up, new plot points are introduced for the future, and seeing as the next season is going to be called Changes, I'm wondering how that's all going to affect, because a lot has changed in the Avatar universe. A lot has changed in the way spirits and humans interact. A lot has changed for Korra. A lot has changed with her relationships with other people. So I have to wonder what is going to happen when she's got to get back to being to the business of being Avatar, considering all of these changes. So just prepare yourself. There's a lot of change, a lot of new things, but this was a great episode. It had great fight scenes. It had great emotional moments. It had good comedy. The comedy was actually well done. There was maybe once or twice where I thought, maybe you shouldn't have tried to go for funny at this moment, but usually they timed it and placed it just right. So we got a lot of serious, we got a lot of funny, we've got and this is supposed to be like the end. Okay, you don't think there's going to be anything funny about this. So anyway, it's just a great ending and a good solid finish for this season. Okay, that was the non-spoiler review. Here's the spoiler review. So anyway, Korra starts off, she's trying to lock Unalaq. She's trying to stop Unalaq and Vaatu from bonding. She's actually fairly successful out the get-go and almost traps Vaatu into the Tree of Time, as we figure out it's called. However, Unalaq manages to defeat Bolin and Mako and make it back into the spirit realm, or at least the bridge realm, and manages to combine with Vaatu. He then pulls Rava out and seemingly destroys her. Meanwhile, Tenzin and company, Bumi and his sister, I still can't remember her name, head further into the spirit world trying to look for Jinora. They actually come across Iroh, and he gives them a helpful hint that takes them to the area of lost souls. Interestingly enough, Tenzin has this moment where he sees his father, because the area of lost souls, your delusions get the best of you, and you go kind of nuts. So Bumi's stories make him go crazy, and Tenzin's sister's need to be independent makes her go kind of nuts. Tenzin's almost overcome by the need to be his father, but in a strange sort of scene, he sees his dad. Now, I don't know if that's his dad's spirit, because Rava was killed, or if That's something going on in Tenzin's mind, but he sees his dad. He overcomes his need to be his father, and then he finds Jinora. However, Jinora has to go back into the spirit realm, and that's what will be very important later on. So anyway, Korra is beaten, and Vaatu and Unalaq fuse, and then head to attack Republic City, because you know you need a giant monster attacking a city. I mean... Anyway, this was reminiscent of a lot of stuff I would watch as a kid. I kept thinking, for some reason, I kept thinking about Gundam, and I have no idea why, or Godzilla, or something like that. Although they didn't have the monster fight in the city, the big fight they actually have in the water, which is very smart. That kind of makes sense. But death toll is over 9,000. Anyway, so Korra. Everything looks bad. Korra looks completely defeated. However, Tenzin takes her to the Tree of Time. She connects with her past memories. She connects with her own spirit, and then she turns into a giant spirit and fights with Unalaq / Vaatu, the Dark Avatar. She fights with him. It looks like she might lose because she finds out that Rava is still in him. Jinora comes down using some spirit energy and helps her find him. She grabs... she manages to bring Rava out of him, defeat him, and then dissipate him. I'm not sure if she destroyed Vaatu. I know she destroyed Unalaq. I know he's dead, but I don't know what happened to Vaatu, if he's gone for a while or what. I'm a little confused by that, but I get it more or less. So anyway... She heads back to the spirit world, reconnects with Rava, and this is the part that gets me. She cannot connect with her past lives anymore. And I feel that's going to be a major plot point, not only for this series, but if they want to keep going forward. I personally think they should go backwards, do past Avatar lives, maybe. Does anyone else want to see Kyoshu? Maybe I do. But anyway... The thing is, now that she can't connect with the previous lives, what does that mean for her job as the Avatar? She's still technically the Avatar because she's fused with Rava, but she's left the spirit portal open so spirits and humans can go back and forth. She's no longer the bridge between the two worlds. She's still there to keep the peace, but she's no longer the bridge, and that's one of the major changes. But she can't connect to her past lives, and that's always been a major part of being the Avatar I've seen. Okay, I haven't seen Last Airbender, the original series, in a while. But I remember that's a major part, and it's been a major part of this series. I mean, it's what helped her get her bending back at the end. However, what does this mean for her as the Avatar? How is this going to affect her and possible future Avatars? Will there be future Avatars? It's just something to think about. Also, when Unalaq was fused with Vaatu, could he do other bending? It seemed like he could only do water bending. It looked like he was earth bending for a second, but I think that was ice. And as you know, waterbender can bend ice. Hey, why didn't Korra ever bloodbend in this? I just realized, can't she do that too? I don't know. I think she would have learned by now. I digress. Of course. Anyway, oh yeah, it's supposed to be rare and really evil to do that. Whatever. Anyway, it ends with Korra and Mako also break up, which actually it's very amicable, and I was glad they didn't stretch that out, because Korra remembered, they apologized, they said they would love each other, and then they went their separate ways. I don't know what that means with Mako and Asami. Bolin also broke up with Eska. They kind of got together. It's sort of a freak of the moment thing, and then Eska decided she didn't want him anymore. So Bolin's off the hook, really. But he's kind of sad about that. Oh yeah, Varric got out of prison. Let's see what happens there. I have a feeling he's going to be back. Maybe not in a... I hope not in a villain type role, but we'll see. So anyway, conclusions on these episodes. Very good, very good. By the way, if you're a shipper, Korra and Bolin. Anyway, very good episodes. This was actually a better season finale in my mind than the previous season. I'm going to say it right now, I think I liked the previous season a bit more. but I thought the conclusion to this, the way they wrap things up, and the questions that are being posed for the future, I think are better. Because the last season seemed very rushed, and the motivations seemed very kind of pushed together. Don't get me wrong, the last season's finale had some great moments. Amon and Tarlok, that was great. That was a great finish. Actually, I wonder if Amon's really dead. We'll see. But anyway, I thought this was just a better conclusion. It finished up, it tied up the loose ends, and it posed future questions that I think are going to be answered, or at least in some capacity. Unlike the previous season, which finished up, it kind of like stuff blew up. It's like, oh, rush that in, and now everything's back to normal. I guess the equalists are all gone. Now move on. But yeah. Anyway, season as a whole, I thought the second season started off a little too slow. It took some time to develop, and I am really shocked that Korra fell for Unalaq, because he was so like Tarlok. I mean, it was just like screaming, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, and she fell for it again. And he was a waterbender too, and they kind of looked like each other, and so whatever. Anyway, for some reason I just still think it's cool that Korra can breathe fire. But anyway, I thought the last season, I like the bad guy more. I know this was more epic, this was bigger, this was almost a bigger threat. This was a threat to the whole world, not just Republic City. Although Amon had said, I think he said at some point the whole world, but but I just liked the Amon as a villain better. I thought his motivations were interesting. They could have been explored more, and that was the fault of the last season, because this one, Unalaq just wants world domination, and he thinks he's the best one for what he's supposed to do. He thinks the Avatar was wrong, he's supposed to be the one, and then Vaatu, yeah, he thinks it's just kind of world domination, and that's simpler, but it's explained, you can understand what his motivations are, and it's explored to the extent that it needs to be. But for Amon, it wasn't explored as far as it needed to be. It was just a throwaway line of, he thinks bending is pure evil. And that wasn't so great. You know what I'm saying? So while I liked the villain of the previous season more, I liked how they concluded it with this one better. And while I liked the political implications of the previous season, this one did everything well. This was a very spiritual season. I mean, it was called Spirits. And this was very much about the spirit realm and the spirit world. And this season wasn't afraid to go away from Korra for long periods of time and focus on other characters. And I liked that. I felt like Korra almost got shafted a few times, but that's okay, because it was fine to explore other characters and other things. I didn't like Korra so much at the beginning of this, but I ended up liking her more. And while I still prefer her kind of from the first season, this still did a good job, although it treated her kind of badly at the beginning. I mean, it was just so sweet, and then she got really mean. So, there's a lot to look forward to in this series. There's 2 more seasons, hopefully longer ones, because this was only 2 episodes longer than the previous one. I hope they have a season that ends actually badly for Korra, like the villains win, and then you move on to the next one. And I have a feeling it'll be next season, but I don't know. I don't know. If I'd had my way, the first season would have ended with the Equalists winning, and then this would have continued the Equalist plot. But I know they were trying to do a mini-series, and then they had to change their minds, and yeah. But that's how I would have done it. Anyway, overall thoughts, a good season. Maybe not as good as the first one, but good. Everything was bigger, everything was better, everything was more epic, and the season finale just really made it for me. Started off kind of slow, but ended up being great. Unlike the other one, which started off really good, and ended up kind of blah. Overall, I'm interested to see what happens, what the future has for Korra, what the future has for this franchise. And I just can't wait till next year when they have the next season. I hope we don't have to wait a whole year, but we might have to. But anyway, all I can say is, and then there were 2. Total Drama finale will be this Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll try to review it as soon as it comes here, because I'm all the way over here. I'll try to review that as soon as possible. I'm so excited for that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles still going. It's gonna be hard to watch the Turtles now that I've watched this. I mean, this is like so epic. Everything pales in comparison. I mean, you leave Avatar and you go, what do I do with my life now? I've got nothing. Nothing. Nothing is as good as this. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I love this series so much. I love this franchise so much. And I just, yeah. It's December 1st. Have a Merry Christmas season. Yeah, have a happy time getting ready for the holidays, whichever one you celebrate. Okay. I'll see you next time with Total Drama Reviews.